If you saw the fucking abuse that we did last week to our bodies, I don't know what my fucking problem is. I couldn't fucking stop. I couldn't stop. Like every night I would be dragging ass, getting ready to go do my show, going, dude, what the fuck am I doing? Then the second you go out on stage, the adrenaline starts going, you get a couple laughs, you feel fucking great, right? And then literally the first show, halfway through it, I'll just be thinking like, I can have a beer tonight. I'll have one, then I'll go to bed, and it'll be fine. The next thing you know, you walk in the streets of San Antonio, and the fucking security guard at the Alamo tells you to get the fuck out of there. You know? It's Verzi's running around. Verzi goes, take a picture of me in front of the Alamo, right? And you got to know that right now how fucking drunk we are. Walking around like a couple of dopes with smoking cigars, of course, right? Let's go over and smoke a cigar in front of the fucking Alamo. You know? Why not do that? Why learn about the history? We actually ended up learning about the history because Verzi went over and he goes, dude, take a picture of me in front of the Alamo. And for some reason, there's this security guard working late night. He goes, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. So Verzi goes, take the picture. And he rips his shirt off and makes this absolutely psycho look on his face just to get the fucking security guard going. It's like, what do you mean we can't do that? Why can't we take a picture of the fucking Alamo? Is it after hours? So then he comes up and he thinks we're a couple of drunk assholes, which we are, right? You got to see the picture of Verzi. I sent it to him. Maybe he'll put it online. I'm going to leave it up to him. But, dude, I have to tell you, Paul Verzi is one of the most happiest, go-lucky people I've ever seen in my life, and he looks like a fucking serial killer. Like, I saw the photo, and I said to him, I was like, dude, if this picture was the poster of a movie, I would go see it immediately. You look like a fucking lunatic. So anyways, the guy comes over and he starts talking to us, and immediately we just start asking him questions about the Alamo, and he couldn't resist. And he started telling us all this information. And I was sitting there going like, well, no wonder all the guys died. Look how small the wall is. That's like even smaller than that thing that people have to run up on at the end of the American Ninja Warrior. You know? If anything would fuck me over on that show, as long as you had a halfway decent thing, you could figure you could work the grip strength up, right? Right? If they had like a approaching 50 years old American Ninja Warrior obstacle course, I feel like I could work my way up to get through it, but there's nothing helping. There's nothing helping I got white guy disease, you know what I mean? White guys, we got those meaty calves. They weigh us down, you know what I mean? We need those fucking deer legs. We just don't have them. We got big, dumb, meaty calves. Our calves are like fucking, they're like ankle weights. I don't know what it is, but there's no fucking way I could ever get over that. So I'm sitting there looking at the wall at the Alamo going like, dude, I swear to God, I feel like I could do a run, plant 1 foot midway up the wall, and I think I got a shot. I got a shot, man. I could go right up and over. What's up there, Daniel Boone? What do you say there, Sam Houston? Where's Davy Crockett? Huh? What about that guy who settled Virginia and banged the Indian woman, and then they shaved his head and they made him one of them, right? And then they murdered everybody but him. What was his name? What was it, Eddie Virginia? I know it has something to do with Virginia. Tim Richmond? The fuck was his name? Michael, West Virginia? Jonestown? What the fuck was that guy's name who had the first settlement down there in Virginia? I know there's a city or there's a street named after him, isn't there? That guy fucking did it right? He landed there and he immediately interacted, fucking started banging one of the natives. That's what you do. You assimilate. He was like, oh yeah? Is that how you make corn? That's fantastic. Show up with a belt buckle on your hat. I mean, you think you're not going to get scalped, you fucking dope? Standing there with your white socks like you're going to do the Billie Jean moonwalk across the fucking plane. You know what's funny? Did they even dress like that? You know, how much of what you think is actual history is actually just what the first people in Hollywood did when they made movies? You know what I mean? And then that just became like, oh, this is what it was. You know, like I always do the classic when they talk about the Native Americans and playing drums. And they always do that. That was completely made up by a white guy. There's not one shred of evidence. In fact, one of my brothers one time took a tour someplace, I don't know, in Arizona. And the guy was talking about Indians and Native Americans, in percussion, right? And he was showing some of the ways that they would play the drums. He goes, they would do it this way, they do it this way, they do it that way, yada, yada, yada. He goes, but at no point did they ever go, dun, 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 dun. And he killed, though he crushed, got an applause break. The whole place started laughing because it was a bunch of white people, I imagine, going, oh yeah, that's what we thought they did. So anyways, let me get back to where the fuck I was at. So we're at the goddamn Alamo, right? And we start talking to this guy. He tells the whole fucking story, man. Jesus Christ, it was brutal. Oh, really, Bill? Was the massacre there? Bro, you know, until you're actually there and you're looking at it and you're standing on the grounds of it. Because what killed me was what they've left of the fort was the inner perimeter. So where we were standing, disrespectfully taking silly photos, was where a lot of people died. They just took down the wall that was around the fort. So what we were looking at was this inner area, you know, where probably the officers, you know, took advantage of the women that were there, whatever the fuck happened back in the 1800s. I don't know. And basically what happens when they showed up was they just fucking killed every guy there. Even if you gave up, they just lined you up and shot you. And as fucked up as that was, I always think back to whoever lost the war, you know, which I'm going on a limb here saying it was Mexico, because I have no idea, because they never talked about the fucking, I don't even know when it happened, to be honest with you. I didn't take the tour. Like I said, I was drunk with the cigar. So, I mean, it wasn't like the Spanish-American War. Didn't that take place in like the Philippines? Something fucked up like that. I don't even know. But this is fucking hilarious, because every history class I took when I was... I'm just laughing now thinking of you guys rolling your eyes, how embarrassed. You should be embarrassed as an American that yet again I'm doing this. And this could go out to anybody outside of our borders. I should get audited right now for not knowing this shit. They would always start with 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and then the Pilgrims, and then they get through the Revolutionary War, maybe the War of 1812, you'd get up to that, and then they stopped, and they just kept going back to it every fucking year, just hammering that shit into your head. Thomas Jefferson, I could not tell a lie, completely ignored the genocide of the Native Americans, completely ignored slavery, just ignored all of it. It's just every fucking year going back to the goddamn powdered wigs. I fucking hated it. And then when I finally got to high school, I took this honors history class because I actually liked history. And then we did ancient medieval history. Holy shit. That might have been the most boring stuff. Oh, I just remember the cover of the book had this ancient medieval broken plate on it. It almost looks like that stupid, that dish they give women when they win Wimbledon, which always cracked me up. You know what I mean? They give a guy a chalice to drink fucking wine out of as he gets blown by a hooker, and a woman wins Wimbledon. They give her a plate. Yeah, why don't you go make some biscuits there, sweetheart? I'm surprised feminist groups haven't complained. Like, why don't we get a trophy? Why do we get that deviled egg fucking plate? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's considered a plaque. The fuck do I know? I thought the Spanish-American War happened in the Philippines. I know we went over to the Philippines at some point. We did some sort of damage. But could I find it on a map? Actually, I could, because I've been to Singapore. All right? It was east of it. It was east of Singapore, if I remember correctly. Oh, yes. I've spread my ignorance around the globe. So anyways, we're there, and the guy was talking about, you know, how they let the women and children live, but they completely just killed every guy there, even if you surrendered. Even if you were running away from the fort, they just shot you in the back. And I just was thinking, like, yeah, man, I mean, that's what you got to do. Like, whoever that commander was, Santa Monica, whatever the fuck his name was, Santa something, or Santa Cruz, San Jose, I think it was a city, but it was actually a guy. It was like his last name. I think even California had to give it up, being like, you know what, that motherfucker was going hard. I know that's not his name, and I don't have time to look it up because that would involve research. All right? So you just fucking sit there in your cubicle and you listen to this. How dare you judge me in my ignorance? It's just sitting there at your job, making money, not doing your fucking job. How dare you? Maybe listening to it in your car. I don't know what you're doing. So anyways, I always think that, like, that's how hard, like, whenever I think about, you know, if I was a Native American and I knew, forget that. If you knew, if they knew, there we go. There's the fucking right pronoun, right? Is that a pronoun or is it an adverb? If they knew what the fuck was going to go down, can you imagine? That'd be a great series of films just called If They Knew, right? And it, all about history, about horrific wrongs that were done about one group of people to another, you know? And you know how each one of them would start. Every little clip of If They Knew would start with a bunch of white people come pulling up in a boat. Oh, who are these people? Hey, everybody. Next thing you know, you're enslaved or you're fucking, you know, just getting murdered. I always thought about if they knew, like the Native Americans, what the fuck they would, I swear to God, they would have all joined forces like in the Warriors. Can you dig it? Right? And what they would have to do, okay, is they would have to let everybody come ashore, right? And this is what you do. At night, you slip onto the boats and you kill everybody who's on the boat. So now there's no escape. All right? And then you'd have to murder everybody. Men, women, children, all of them. You'd have to murder all of them. All right? Then once all of that was done, one group of people, okay, is in charge. You got to take those bodies and you have to drag those motherfuckers hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles inland. And you got to bury them where no one's ever going to find them. All right? And then meanwhile, another group of people has to systematically begin dismantling those ships. All right? So that the belief would be that they never made it to the shores of America. Right? No, that wouldn't work because they just keep sending more and the boats would get better. I was trying to think, like, how could the Native Americans stopped what happened? At some point, oh, I know what you do. You'd have to keep the weapons. Why would you take apart the boat, Bill, you fucking dope? No, keep the boat. All right, fuck that. Let's back up here. Still kill everybody on land. Still drag them a fucking couple 100 miles inland. Still bury them. All right? Kill everybody on the boat except for like 5, 6 people. And then you go, listen, motherfucker, if you don't teach us how to drive this goddamn thing, all right, we're going to fucking, I don't know, we're going to do something to you that's going to be really painful. All right? I don't know, you get them to teach you how to drive the boat. And once you get the boat, right, you start breaking down, I don't know, the cannonballs and shit. I don't know how you do it. You just have to keep killing these motherfuckers. No, maybe the best way to do it is that they don't know. You know what? I don't have a fucking solution. God damn it, white people are fucking evil, huh? Even me as a white person, you think I could figure out how to stop us? You know what? I got to get back to you. If you guys got any suggestions, how you could have stopped that. But it is, you have to do what they're doing to you, what they're going to do to you first. That's the only way to do it. You know what I mean? People come over, right? They got a better pistol than you do, right? And they think that God thinks what they're doing is right. Yeah, it's fucking over. There's not going to be... The only time I ever fucking saw the indigenous people survived when a boatload of white people showed up was in New Zealand. All right? And if you saw the people who are indigenous in New Zealand, every one of them, I swear to God, is built like a Hall of Fame linebacker. Like, and I'm not just talking about size, like, they look like, listen, this dude could change the fucking game. And white people pulled up and were just like, all right, you know what? We're going to be here with you and we're going to kind of like share this area. I mean, I was only in New Zealand for like 3 fucking days, but that's what I was told while drinking in a bar. It might be wrong. It might be right. You know, hopefully it's wrong.